Dr. Mohammed Zubair Akram, MBBS, FCPS, Medical Education. Learn, explore, grow.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Zubair.
Some people find it difficult to think about or talk openly about the end of life. I understand that hesitation. However, especially for patients with dementia, having these conversations early in the course of the disease is extremely important. As the disease progresses, there comes a point when the patient is no longer able to make decisions independently. Planning ahead can lead to a more dignified and peaceful end-of-life experience not just for the patient, but also for their loved ones. Many people have heard the terms euthanasia and assisted suicide, yet they are often unsure about the difference. You're not alone. While both involve intentionally ending a person's life, there is a clear distinction. Euthanasia refers to a doctor actively ending a patient's life by administering a lethal injection at the patient's request. Currently, euthanasia is legal in only 8 countries worldwide, including Belgium, Canada, Colombia, Luxembourg, New Zealand, Spain, the Netherlands, and some states in Australia. Belgium has one of the most liberal euthanasia laws. It applies not only to terminally ill patients, but also to those with psychiatric conditions and, in certain cases, even children. Euthanasia is permitted when a person experiences unbearable suffering with no prospect of improvement. Before proceeding, doctors must engage in multiple discussions with the patient to confirm that the suffering is permanent and that the wish to die is consistent and well considered. When it comes to dementia, euthanasia becomes especially complex. Patients in advanced stages of dementia often lose the ability to clearly express their wishes. This makes it difficult for doctors to determine whether the patient still has the cognitive capacity to understand and consent to such a decision. In many countries, euthanasia is prohibited once a patient can no longer express their will. As a result, some people with dementia feel pressured to end their lives earlier than they would want to while they still have decision-making capacity. This raises a difficult question: should a previously expressed wish for euthanasia always be respected? There are no easy answers. People can write down their fears and describe what they do not want to experience, but such statements reflect wishes and wishes can change over time. I often hear people say things like, "I'd rather die than live in a nursing home," or "I'd rather die than live in a wheelchair." Yet, as people age, they frequently adapt in ways they never expected. That ability to cope is, in my opinion, one of the most remarkable aspects of being human. This is also why doctors are required to repeatedly confirm whether euthanasia remains the patient's true wish. With late-stage dementia patients, that confirmation is often no longer possible. Since April 2020, however, doctors in the Netherlands may legally perform euthanasia on patients with severe dementia, even if they can no longer explicitly express a wish to die, provided that the patient previously submitted a written request outlining the specific conditions under which they would want euthanasia. This policy remains highly controversial. Imagine a situation where your mother has written a statement saying she wants euthanasia once she no longer recognizes her children. The doctor must then decide whether her current condition truly matches that description. But how do we define recognition? Is it remembering a name, a face, or an emotional connection? And what if the patient physically resists during the procedure despite having a written request? These questions place an enormous ethical burden on doctors and show just how complex these decisions are. While euthanasia is legal in only a limited number of countries, physician-assisted suicide is more widely accepted. The key difference lies in who performs the final act. In euthanasia, the doctor administers the lethal medication. In assisted suicide, the doctor prescribes the medication, but the patient must take it themselves. Finally, there's a question people often ask: why would someone with dementia want to die earlier? They won't even remember the suffering. Research suggests that it's not just about fear of suffering, it's about autonomy. For many, choosing the moment of death feels like a way to retain control over their own lives. One patient once said to me, "If I cannot control the illness, at least I can control how I die."